Hey there, YouTube. How's everybody doing today? West Texas Prepper coming at you with, I'm going to start a series of videos, and I really don't know where it's going to go. A lot of it talks about philosophy of what we're doing as far as a community, as far as being prepared. One of the videos that I'm looking at doing is going to be a video on preparedness is not a bad word. You know, most of you have watched my videos, know that I teach high school kids, and being an educator, I think that understanding language is an important part of what we do as a community. And when I talk about community as far as prepping, that's all encompassing. I go in and look at the channels that I subscribe to, and I'm all over the board as far as what I'm looking at and what I'm trying to glean some knowledge from. You know, one of the things that I knew when I had finally grown up is that I always thought that I was a smelly, a fairly smart individual. But then I think I grew up and matured enough to realize that I don't know everything. And I go to look for those people that have more knowledge than I do. It's just like if I want to try to do something on my cell phone or my electronics, I go to one of my high school kids. Those guys understand that a little bit more than I do. So there are people out there that have more knowledge in other areas than what we're experts in, and I think that's where I'm trying to sort of go with these videos. And a lot of this has been brought up over this past week, actually about the past couple of weeks, with some of the things that I've been seeing on YouTube amongst some of the preppers across the country. And it just sort of, it in a sense saddens my heart a little bit to look at the infighting. We all have the ultimate goal in being prepared. If we live in different parts of the country, then we're going to have different things that we are being prepared for. I know, you know, one of the cable channels out there has Doomsday Preppers. I don't have cable in my house, so I don't get a chance to watch some of those shows. You know, if I can catch them online, I'll do that, and that's great. But I don't get a chance to watch all those, and I understand reality television, and it's not always portraying the reality of what's going on, so I take that with a grain of salt in the things that I see on there. And in this course of videos, I'll make some generalizations. I'm not going to refer to anybody in particular. I don't think that's the fair thing to do. You know, when I go in and look at videos, if I like them, I'll leave a comment. Hey, sometimes when I like them, I might not even leave a comment. I'll give them a thumbs up. If I don't like them, I don't even give them a thumbs down or make a comment. I'll move on, and if I could gain some information from it a little bit here and there, that's fine. Like I said, there are different people that are in this community from different parts of the country that have different thoughts, different ideas. They're going about it different than what I would do, and a lot of that, there are a lot of factors that get involved with that. Age, for one thing, location. And these are points that I'll address in this series of videos that I'm going to start working on. The reason I'm making videos today, I'm trying to get out and clean pools today. Hang on just a second, I'll show you the kind of weather that we're dealing with. As you can see, we've got a nice rainy, overcast day, slow moisture coming in. That's something that we've been needing a while. We actually had about 4 inches of snow last weekend, and it's put me a little bit behind, but with this kind of weather, we're in a drought in this part of West Texas. Have been for a couple of years, so any type of moisture we can get, I'm going to be happy for and rejoiceful in getting that moisture, even if it does put me a little bit behind. I think, you know, it's February. Nobody's swimming in their pools today, so I know I'm a little bit behind, but the weather's actually been okay, so they're not in bad shape. I'll be able to get some stuff done today no matter what. But this is just something I've been thinking about for a while, and just haven't had the time to to sit down and make some videos, and today's a good day to do that for me. But that's what I'm sort of looking at. Like I said, this series is something that I've been thinking about and contemplating and doing some reading on for a while. I had a book that I found. I was cleaning out some stuff out of my storage buildings and found a book, and it's a good book. It's called Can You Survive? The guy's name is Robert Depew. I'll hold that up here. And this is a book. It was printed in 1973. That's the publication date on it. I don't agree with this guy. And this is just a good example. This is a good book. Has some good ideas in it. I don't agree with this guy's philosophy. I've done some research on him. And you can go in and do your own research and come to your own conclusions. That's another point that I think that we need to understand about YouTube, is that we do need to go in and gain our own knowledge. Don't take my word for what I'm telling you as the gospel. It might not apply to you, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of people make some mistakes on, is they see these videos and they think, well, that person knows what he's talking about, and they might for them. A lot of things that I do, people aren't going to agree with. A lot of the things that I prep for might not be a consideration in other parts of the country, so you might disagree with me, and that's fine. Part of my philosophy on YouTube, this is not really an integral part of my life. I think that I have information to share with people, and I'm looking forward to doing that. I haven't blocked anybody on my YouTube channel. The only people that I have blocked are, I think it's more that come in my email as far as spam, and their videos, a lot of music videos I've been getting for some reason. I don't know why that is, and I'll go in and block those and treat them as spam. But if somebody has legitimate things to say on my channel, and they might not be so legitimate, I'm going to leave them on there. I think that a lot of times the comments that people leave serve two purposes. One, I can learn from those comments if there is something to learn, or two, it shows a lack of knowledge on their part. And I see that a lot on some of the videos. But one of the things in this book that I thought was, there were some points in here, and it talks about the philosophy that this guy sort of has, and these are just some of the points that I tend to agree with in this. And having found this book about a month ago and been reading through it a little bit more, and picking and choosing some of the things that I agree with and discarding those that I don't. One of the things that really popped up, and this is right on one of the first pages in the book, it talks about, like I said, the philosophy of the community, the philosophy of being prepared. And it says, we spend too much time in quarreling among ourselves over differences that are really not that important. This continual bickering within our ranks cannot help but lower our morale. Subconsciously, at least, it makes us doubt the validity of our own cause. And I think that's a good point that this guy makes, is that a lot of the infighting and bickering that I've been seeing on YouTube has really been over minuscule points of philosophy. And there again, I'm not going to go into detail and call names. Some of you that watch my channel are subscribed to some of the same channels, and some of the more prominent people here on YouTube in the community. And I think you've seen some of the same things that are going on. I haven't become involved. I don't want to get involved in those people. I agree with both sides. I disagree with both sides. There again, it comes down to the philosophy: what's right for you? What can you glean from that information? From all the parties that I've seen involved in a lot of this stuff, everybody's right, everybody's wrong. They're right for themselves, they may be wrong for somebody else. Some of the channels that I subscribe to, I'm not going to agree with everything that they do. I've been married to my wife coming up on 17 years, and she and I don't always see eye to eye on things. But we learn and we grow, and I think that's the whole point of why we do the things that we do here on YouTube, is to put out that information. A lot of people actually reiterate in their channels, hey, take from this what you can get and go from there. Second point that he makes says, conservatives tend to be very pessimistic Of course, we have good reason for pessimism, but we should not allow ourselves to become real Calamity Janes. And I agree with that. And pessimism, I think, is more as a dirty word to me. I tend to be more of a realist. You talk about the glass half full, glass half empty type of people. Most of the time, I'm just glad that there's stuff in the glass to begin with. And it's, being a realist, being an opportunist, and I think those are some important things. Continuing with that thought, said youth tends to be more optimistic. To attract them to our ranks, and I think within our community, to get them in the same philosophical mindset as far as being prepared for whatever the reasons. That self-reliance, self-sufficiency, one of those important things that we look at, and to draw the younger people in, we must offer hopeful, constructive programs that offer some chance for victory. And there again, the small incremental successes that we can show. If it's being prepared for a disaster, starting off small, 3 days of food and water, medical kit, some type of kit for your automobile or automobiles, communications, some of those small little things that we can get accomplished and do that. One of the classes that I have taught and teach, a financial advisor out there, one of his big things is the baby steps. And I think prepping needs to be along those same things. We need to take those baby steps and have some of those small victories and let those build into larger victories. And continuing with that thought, we only drive them away with our never-ending pronouncements of how bad things are. And I agree with that. I look at some of the videos out there and people talk about just how bad things are. And I think this is where age and maturity come into this. We're coming through a cycle of political elections, and a lot of people are very concerned, and a lot of people should be concerned, and I agree with that. I've been through this before, with President Clinton coming into office and some of the things that he was wanting to do. I was doing some of the preparedness stuff. It really wasn't called that at the time, prior to him coming into office. But that got me thinking and got me going into some of the things that I started doing as far as prepping and being ready. Not only for that type of stuff, but also just, disasters. And I'll get into more of that with this series of videos that I'm going to do. So when I go in and look at that, yeah, we do need to be a little more optimistic instead of having the pessimism amongst our ranks. And bringing in those young people, and young doesn't necessarily need to mean age in this part. I think we need to look at the young people that are new to prepping, that are new to disaster preparedness, and whatever that term means to you. And so I think that's where we need to go with this. Hey, I appreciate you watching this video. I sort of rambled on a little bit longer than I wanted to, but thank you very much. Post your comments. If you'd like to do a video response to this, that would be wonderful. I would be more than grateful to see what kind of thoughts and insights you might have in some of the things we've talked about here today. Hey, this West Texas Prepper signing off. Have a good day today, and we'll catch you later. Stay prepared. Start from where you are. Keep going. Keep prepping. And keep your powder dry today. Thanks a lot, YouTube.